Welcome to the NYY Recaps postgame show. The stream is about to begin.
A no-hitter.
Ball game over. Yankees win.
That ball is high. That is far.
It's a triple play. From deep to left field. Going back for a go. Turning left. Swing and a miss, and that'll do it.
Okay, the lineup for tonight's game against the Red Sox: DJ LeMahieu leading off at second base, Giancarlo Stanton in there at DH, batting second. Aaron Judge is in center field tonight, hit a home run last night. Gio Urshela is at third base, he is always reliable. Gleyber Torres is at shortstop, and then Chris Gittens making his Major League debut. He's at first base. Miguel Andujar, Miggy Two Bags, has been swinging the bat very well. He's in left field. Gary Sanchez behind the dish, and Clint Frazier is in right field. And on the mound, Jamison Tyone, his numbers are not pretty. He is just 1-4 with a 5.10 ERA. Does have 55 strikeouts in 47 2/3 innings pitched. I think he needs one more pitch to help him get a little bit deeper in the game, but if his fastball is riding up in the zone, he could have a good night.
And a slider is hitting the ground to third. A fair ball, a backhand heave. Oh, what a play from Urshela!
1-1. Swung on and hit in the air to deep left. It is high. It is far. It is gone. Yeah, when he hit it.
Dahlback gets into this one. Way back to left center field. That is a monster shot!
Manscaped. They were kind enough to send me this Lawnmower 4.0. This is their latest ball trimmer. This thing has a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents, which is important if you're putting a vibrating razor blade on your boys. You're going to love this thing if you have cats, mischievous cats like mine, because my cat chews through every cord that we have in the house. We have to replace cords all the time. Well, this thing has a wireless charger. So the only cord goes from the back of this thing directly into the wall. You just drop your lawnmower into the cradle and it charges. Father's Day is just around the corner and you probably need a gift for your hairy dad. Make your dad proud this year and get him and yourself the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right. The Lawnmower 4.0. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code NYY Recaps at manscaped.com. Take it from me. Your balls will thank you. Hal, Mr. Steinbrenner, if somehow this video ends up in front of you, maybe an assistant says, here's what social media, here's what the fans are saying. If somehow this video ends up in front of you on the way to your airplane hangar or on the way to drop some more money into your Swedish bank account, I have just one question on behalf of Yankees fans everywhere. How much longer do we need to watch this offense continue to sputter before we do something about it? Something. Other than calling up a 27-year-old who's never played in the big leagues. How about we do something philosophically about this team? 28 outs on the bases this year, worst in baseball. 12 times thrown out at home, worst in baseball. 13 stolen bases, worst in baseball. 17 stolen base attempts, worst in baseball. 31% taking the extra base. So just 31% of the time when they have an opportunity to stretch an extra base on a base hit, they don't do it. Probably because you got so many guys who are going to pull their hammies if they try. And only 24% of runners on base score. Last in Major League Baseball. How much longer, Hal? How much longer do we need to watch? Yankees called up Chris Gittens today, and he made his debut at first base. He made his first putout on a great play by Gio Urshela across the diamond. LeMahieu also made a great play in the first. Sox don't score. Red Sox held their own against Tyone in the second, but ran themselves out of an inning. They had some trouble on the bases tonight at times. Gittins had a really good at-bat in the first, but bounced out to end the inning. Clint Frazier ripped a 2-out single in the third to become the Yankees' first base runner. He just looks a lot better since he opened up his stance a little bit. His hands are moving through the zone quick. DJ picked up a veteran single to right, a very Derek Jeterian or Jeterian single, as John Sterling would call it, to put men on first and second with 2 outs. But Stanton swings through 3 straight fastballs to end the inning, and he's a mess right now. And he was hearing the Boo Birds. Bottom of the fourth, Gleyber Torres absolutely murders a ball to left field into the bleachers, walked halfway down the line, and then did the bat flip. And I don't know if you should be bat flipping when you got 3 home runs in June, buddy. I don't know about that. I guess have fun, but it's a bad look. Red Sox rally for 5 consecutive hits to take a 3-2 lead. Final line for Tyone was 5 1/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. His fastball was pretty good. His curveball was pretty good. But again, just going deep into the game is a problem for him. I thought they should have pulled him after 5. And I know he was efficient or whatever, but this guy always turns into a pumpkin in the 6th inning. You have to know that. And instead, you have to bring Loizaga in with runners on base. Bottom of the 6th, Judge walks and Gio hits a ground rule double to put men on second and third with 1 out. Gleyber hits a sac fly down the right field line, almost a 3-run home run. Got under it a little bit. Top of the 7th, Red Sox threatened against Loizaga, but Gio turned a nice double play on a line drive to get out of it. And then in the bottom of the 7th, Sanchez singles and Tyler Wade pinch runs for him, but Frazier bounces into a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. Hernandez doubles in Devers in the top of the 8th, and the Sox go up 4-3, and then a squib double for Vasquez down the line. Seems like we don't get many of those squib lucky hits. Makes it 5-3, and then a 2-run home run by Bobby Dahlbeck makes it 7-3, and people started leaving the stadium to beat the traffic, and I stopped taking notes because I knew at that point it would be over. One more thing, though. Chris Gittins did walk to reach base for the first time in his Major League career in the 9th, but the Yankees come up short. All right, so I haven't even seen the comments, but RS Productions says, some of these comments, y'all need to relax and go outside. Simon Daughtry says, this team can't overcome lack of hitting, running, fielding. This team has major changes coming, wholesale changes. I hope you're right. And by the way, I love that picture of Clint Eastwood. That Clint Eastwood was a man. He is. I mean, he was classic man. And his movies are fantastic. Speaking of which, I need a good movie for tonight because I can't sleep after watching a game like this. I actually ordered pizza right before I came on. So if you hear the doorbell, I'm going to have to run. Let's see. Martin Kalunga says, I really liked Gittins at bats. He didn't swing at pitches out of the zone. He did put up some good at bats. I thought the first at bat, especially, he worked a 3-2 count. You know, the nerves were going. His family was there. Everyone was going crazy. Yankees, Red Sox, national TV, filling in on a team that has had no offense. You know, he's got to feel the pressure to do something. And he worked a really good at bat. Ultimately, just grounded out. But the bat looks like a toothpick in his hands. Let's see here. Boone kept on putting Sanchez on, Tyone. Why not try Higgy to catch for him? You know, I think just Tyone and Sanchez have struggled together, but Higgy works with Cole. Higgy works well with Herman. I just don't know if you can keep Higgy out there every single day. I mean, Sanchez has got to catch somebody. Pershing says, I am most disappointed in the fact that we can't score more than 2 or 3 runs. That's what gets me, too. I mean, this was supposed to be a top-tier offense. Everything that you see on paper would suggest that it would be a top-tier offense, but maybe this is the wake-up call that Brian Cashman and company finally need to understand that the game isn't played on paper, that you actually have to play baseball. This game has been around for over 100 years. There's no magical formula on paper that can create a winning ball club. You've got to have good chemistry. You've got to have a balance of different types of players. You've got to have both righties and lefties. This is Yankee Stadium, for crying out loud. They said on the broadcast a really good point, which is that When Gene Michael was building this team, he noticed that the Yankees had been too right-handed in the late 80s. You know, so guys like Steve Balboni and Dave Winfield and Ricky Henderson. They had Roberto Kelly out in center field, Jesse Barfield. They had a ton of righty hitters. So they went out and they got the Paul O'Neills and they got the Wade Boggses. And, you know, guys like Mel Hall, even though he wasn't around for the whole dynasty, but they developed Bernie Williams, who's a switch hitter. You need lefties. You went out and got Tino Martinez. You can't have nothing but righties at Yankee Stadium. First of all, as a pitcher, if I get locked in to pitching to the exact same side of the plate the whole game, it's just easier to get into a rhythm because you basically have to throw the same pitches to righties, right? If you've got a lefty in there, you're not going to throw sliders most of the time unless you're burying it in the dirt. Whereas for a righty, you're working that slider on the outer half. To a lefty, that's a home run pitch. So it's just a different look. Even if you don't have sluggers like Bryce Harper or Ken Griffey Jr. or any of these other big lefties, you need guys who can work the count, who can have good at bats left-handed at Yankee Stadium and occasionally run into one. So I just think the Yankees need to go out and get a lefty. I put a video up earlier today about things that the Yankees need to look at in terms of trades. Ronan Ryan with the dono. Let's go with the dono hype. Yankees should have walked Rafael Devers with runners on second and third, and I'm tired of Green blowing games. Yeah, Green has been pretty good this year, but he's been untrustworthy in really big games. And also, as for Rafael Devers, you can't let him beat you. He's their best player, so you've got a point. If you got a base open, pitch to him. Don't pitch to him. BB says, see, now I want pizza. Pizza.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yummy.
Mr. Niff says that's because Gittins hasn't been corrupted by our coaching staff. I'm sure he's referring to the quality at bats he had. We've got another dono, $10 from Jordan Martin. It's time for these guys to poop or get off the pot. I am sick and tired of these guys saying how they need to play better, but turn out these pathetic performances every night. Absolutely. And as for Marcus Timms,
Hasta la vista.
get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get rid of Aaron Boone, too.
Double kill.
Honestly, this team, I'm so sick and tired of Aaron Boone's press conferences after the game where he says, I think the guys had good at-bats tonight. I think they had a really good game plan. I don't want to see good fucking at-bats. I want to see runs. I want to see wins. I want to see you beat teams in your division. I want to see a home run once in a while. So, Lori C. says, Boone's post-game quote, we have to get better. Yes, we are good enough. Damn it. I don't know that we are good enough. Maybe the team is good enough. I don't think the coaching is good enough. Pat Soggy Chicken Bucket says, any ideas for a left-handed quality center fielder? Well, I'm a big proponent of the Ketel Marte deal. I don't know that the Arizona Diamondbacks would be willing to deal him. And God damn, that chicken looks good. I'm hungry. Obviously, I'm waiting for my pizza. But Ketel Marte, he doesn't just hit left-handed. He's a switch hitter. He's got power. He's hitting 375 this year. He hit 329 in 2000. I think 329, maybe 332, something like that. In 2019, he was injured last year a little bit, and injured at the beginning of this year too. So he has had just a spook of injuriness, like just the slightest amount of concern. But he did play back-to-back 140-plus games, in the 2 seasons prior to that. So I feel like he would be a reliable option, but he's going to cost you a lot in terms of prospects and trades, and nobody's eager to help the Yankees. P-Man says, why aren't we pitching Devers high and tight? Wherever we pitch him, he seems to just clobber it. Douglas Rouse says, sell what off the Yankees were to sell? Who would they sell that other teams would want? You've got a good point. I hate to say it. The Yankees don't have a ton of chips. I mean, somebody might want Clint Frazier. Somebody might want Miguel Andujar. But those are the guys that I think could be part of the solution. honestly, the Yankees are going to have to absorb money. They're going to have to buy their way out of this. Plain and simple, the Yankees are a multi-billion-dollar organization. I know they lost money last year because of COVID, but everybody lost money. The Yankees are going to have to go over their precious salary cap if they want to, luxury tax, whatever, if they want to make a run this year. They're just going to have to, and that's just how it goes. They're going to have to take money from somebody else, and they're going to have to, figure out a way to include prospects that are enough to get it done, but not so much that you empty your farm. They might have to do something drastic. They might have to make like a 3-way trade with a couple of teams, or call up somebody from Double-A like Oswald Peraza or something like that, or just somebody who would take the league by storm. I don't know who that is. It seems like everybody the Yankees have, the league just knows how to pitch them now. Lori C says, eat Stanton's contract and get rid of him. I hate to say this, but it's not a bad idea. You can buy your way out of trouble and clear a roster spot, but, you'd have to move him somewhere. I could see him going to, in Anaheim, something like that. I honestly think if he played the outfield, he wouldn't get hurt as much. So maybe somebody takes a chance on him. The Yankees will have to eat probably half of that money, and he would have to accept a deal, which I don't know that he'll do. I don't think Stanton wants to leave New York. He's happy there. He likes the limelight. Although I'm sure he's getting tired of the booze. But hey, look, if you get tired of the booze, you got to play better. Bobby Duff says, how long till Jason Dominguez? I've been saying that Jason Dominguez will probably be up at the end of next year, but judging by the way the Yankees are babying this guy, he's still in extended spring training. If you let Cashman choose, he'll call him up when he's 25. No matter how much he rakes in the minor leagues. Nabes says, Stanton is going to the Padres. Hey, if they want him, you can have him, my friend. I'll take back anything you want to give us. Anything. Literally. And it's not because Stanton's bad. I like Stanton as a player. It's because his contract kills this team's flexibility. You can't pay $25+ million to a DH who's aging, and every time that he starts to go on a run, he gets hurt. I don't know who would give you anything for half of the guys on this roster. It's really, really interesting questions. Do you really think they'll get rid of Boone or Timms anytime soon or even this season? That's a good question, Christian Vasquez. I think Marcus Timms has got to go. I think Marcus Timms has got to go right now. In fact, I'm calling for his firing tomorrow morning. We cannot allow this to stand. And it's not just Marcus Timms. He might be taking orders from whoever these mastermind whiz kids are in the analytical rooms that are telling you what pitches you should swing at and which counts. And also, whoever's in charge of teaching these guys how to run the bases has got to go. I don't know who's in charge of base running in this organization, but that person has got to go. They've got to get out. Turquoise Shark says, any questions? Because I was at the game. Yeah, did it smell as bad as it looked? Pamela Davis says, the reason why we have these players is because the Yankees are more considering making money with the human ball than winning is exact opposite of George Steinbrenner's philosophy. I should have read that more carefully before I put it up there just because it was tough to read, but I think what you're trying to say is the Yankees are focused too much on making money rather than on winning ball games. And to a degree, I think that's fair because the Yankees have gotten so big, they're almost too big to fail, right? They've gotten so humongous as a franchise that there's so much money-making opportunity for them. But I'll tell you what, you're staining your reputation if you continue to run this product out there. And look behind home plate. Half the time, even with fans back in the stands now, most of your most expensive seats are not being used. It looks terrible. It looks bad. You need to lower ticket prices. You need to let the real fans from the Bronx back in there. And, bring in some players who are gritty and tough and you know, are examples of what New Yorkers are. New Yorkers are the toughest people in the world. But the Yankees that are on this roster look like a bunch of just spoiled millionaires. That's just the only thing I can think of. They look like they're more concerned with their stock portfolio than they are the result of the game. And that goes for the coaches too, and probably the executives. All right, everybody. I'm sorry that we didn't have a win tonight or really any time recently. But stick with it. Hopefully it'll get better soon. Check out my video on top 7 trade candidates for the Yankees. I just posted it tonight. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps other Yankees fans find the channel. If you really enjoyed it, check out the swag section. We've got tons of great designs to support all your favorite Yankees. And if you simply cannot get enough Yankees content, check out the podcast version of this channel, The Frieze by NYY Recaps, available wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Derek. Thanks for watching.